Hello everyone, how's it going? Now, England's exit from the Euro is still a rather sensitive subject, so I'm not going to keep you, I'm just going to talk about things quickly. Now, like everyone else in the nation, I feel very sad about England's exit. Not for the sheer fact that we did get relegated from the competition, but it's the way we got relegated as well. I mean, on paper, we should have beaten Iceland comfortably, but yet we crumbled. Since the competition started, we've looked shaky all over. And obviously, our worst match came from when we went up against Iceland. Now, why is that? Why did we crumble? I asked myself this quite a few times. I still can't come up with an answer. Maybe a few theories, but it still doesn't explain why we crumble at tournaments. I mean, few suggestion is maybe we crumble under pressure. Because when you think about it, we beat we beat France and Germany in friendlies, with nothing to play for. And we beat them very comfortably, and we actually played well against Spain as well in a friendly. And with the 3 friendlies leading up to the tournament before the Euros, we looked okay then. So why do we crumble when it really mattered, when we have something to play for? I was really excited with this young, dynamic team, because I thought none of them had big reputations apart from maybe Wayne Rooney, and maybe the young stars will play without fear. But yet, it seemed as though they were never comfortable playing for England. I mean, Alan Shearer said that there shouldn't be any pressure, and he's right, because when you think about it, the players can thrive on pressure when they play for the clubs at Premiership week in, week out, and the FA Cup and League Cup, so they're always under pressure. I mean, it's not nice receiving criticism from the public and media, but I think being in the football profession, you have to learn to cope with it, and they can do that. Unless they've done that, they cope with the pressure because they're always being questioned of can they actually go on to win it, and they thrived under pressure and they won the whole thing. So England had not to play on the friendlies against Germany when we won, but yet we struggled to beat Russia and Slovakia, and we lost to Iceland. Partly because we crumbled under pressure, but maybe it's not just the pressure. I think maybe deep down, Roy didn't know his team and he didn't have a game plan. Because when you look at it, those 3 friendlies, one against Portugal and I think Turkey was the other team, can't remember who else we played, he was sort of experimenting with the system a little bit, because you've always played 4-4-2, Roy, so I think he was trying to adapt and go with the 4-3-3, but it didn't quite work, he didn't quite figure that out. And I think even in the Euros, I suspect that he was still experimenting because he kept changing the system a little bit. But it still wasn't very convincing. England still didn't have a style of play or an identity, if you like. Whereas if you look at Italy and Germany, they have a game plan and they stick with it. And even Iceland, they have a game plan. They have Gunnarsson throwing utilising his long throwing skills and have something at the end of it, because throwing can be as dangerous as corners. But England didn't have a game plan. They keep changing it throughout the tournament. So that tells me that Roy still didn't know his team, and he still couldn't quite figure out how he wanted to play. I mean, questions could be directed to Roy all day, but I do feel sorry for him in regard of he's a really nice chap, and he always conducts himself with dignity in interviews. But at the same time, he probably needs to take responsibility of the fact that it was ultimately he was the reason why we played so badly, because we didn't really have any tactics or team or strategy. I do wonder if maybe the players sort of lost faith in him, and by losing faith in him and the coaching staff, they in turn lost faith in themselves and they lost confidence. Because when I look at them in the Iceland game, they were got off the park quickly, but yet they sort of got dejected after a little bit when Iceland scored 2 goals, but they got completely worse in the second half. I mean, they struggled a lot more in the second half than they did in the first half. So it does raise questions what Roy said to them at half time. Did they lose confidence in him and in themselves? Not just in that game, but throughout the tournament. So it does make you wonder. But at the same time, yes, all good players need a leader, and that leader will always Hodgson, and he didn't quite deliver in this tournament. I know some people may question about we're not good enough. I mean, we are. I don't think that really matters, because when you think about it, on paper, Leicester shouldn't win the Prem. They should be relegation favourites. And look what happened. They go on to win the Premiership with no superstars. And when they play Man City, full of superstars and full of quality world-class players, they rip them apart in that one game. And Greece, on paper, they should have got knocked out in the first round in 2004, but yet they went on to win it. So even if England don't have world-class players, they can still. You don't need world-class players to be a good team. Look at Iceland. On paper, they shouldn't even be in the competition, but yet in the group stages they beat Holland twice. They came from behind to beat Portugal. They came from behind